Folks, we're back. Ice Cold Sports, America's Sports Show. Thank you all for watching and or listening right now. This is a redo, actually, from an earlier attempt at this. There was issues with connection. It was my fault. I messed up, but I just said, hey, you know what? The good people out there, they need podcasts. They need a real podcast. And so I said, why not give them a real podcast? And so I'm giving a real podcast. Let's just jump right into it. Last night, Celtics, staved off elimination. They won 116-99 against the Heat. Tatum had 33 points, Butler 29 points. It finally felt like the talent factor that is Boston finally came out. Is it too late to actually come back in this series? That remains to be seen. I think, if I were to guess, they might pick up one more game and lose in Game 6. However, I'll also say, if there was ever a time for a team to finally come back from an 0-3 deficit and win a series, it'd be now, especially with a team as talented as this Boston Celtics team is. So I would definitely say they have a chance. They have a chance. I think that's fair to say. I don't think that's unfair, even though if the chance is pretty small. Also, last night, Jeter and A-Rod were in the building. I remember a certain time when a Boston team was down 0-3, and Jeter and A-Rod were in the building, and guess what happened? They came back from being down 0-3. So, food for thought, folks. Food for thought. But, yeah, I also, on top of that, if you're a Nuggets fan, I would say you want this series to go 7. You want this series to go 7. Because guess what? If it goes 7, these teams will be worn out. Although, if Boston does come back and win 7, you might be screwed. Because that's the kind of momentum that, kills you in a series. Kills you. Thank you, Cliff. Cliff Watson, everybody, agreeing with me in the chat. Good guy. Roommate in college. Good guy. Moving on. Last night, Vegas won 4-0 against Dallas. They're up now in the series. They have a 3-0 lead in the series. It's crazy that if Boston would have lost last night, we would have had a chance at the Sweepapalooza. All sweeps across the board. Basketball and hockey. Because right now the Panthers are up 3-0 on the Hurricanes as well. But yeah, I watched... if you watch what happened in that game, Jamie Benn got ejected, the captain for Dallas. I didn't think it was as bad as they made it out to be. They made it out he pushed him down and then he drove his stick into him. I didn't think that seemed to be the point. I thought he kind of tripped, and that's what caused it. It didn't seem to be intentional. At least I didn't think it was intentional, but I couldn't tell you. I don't think it was intentional. But and also the fans threw stuff on the ice, which pretty hilarious. I mean, you shouldn't do it. That's not a good thing to do. It's not a net good thing to do, to throw stuff on the ice on a hockey game. Not a good thing to do. But it's always kind of funny. Let's be honest. It's a little funny. Don't do it. Don't do it. Look me in the eyes. Don't do it. But it's pretty funny. And then, of course, tonight, Canes taking on the Panthers. Panthers have a chance to sweep that series. I think that series is over. I think both those series are over. You're going to get a Vegas-Carolina Stanley Cup. Imagine being a Canadian hockey fan, and you're watching a team from Las Vegas and a team from North Carolina play in the Stanley Cup. That's got to make you just throw up. That's crazy. And I think it's a cool series. I think it'd be a cool series. I'm happy about it. But if you're a Canadian hockey fan, that's like, what are we doing here? We can't even get a team in the Stanley Cup, eh? Oh, no. Now these teams from the warm weathers. Oh, yeah. It's got to be tough if you're from the country that's literally just known for hockey, for the most part. Also, and I wanted to get into this yesterday. So yesterday this came out, and I didn't mention it yesterday. I'm mentioning it today. Pat Narduzzi, head coach at Pitt, he goes in front of the media and says, what Coach Prime at Colorado is doing is wrong. He's like, no, that's not how you do it. When you have to commit to these players, you can't just throw the book out there, throw out all the guys you have in. You have to stick with them. That's not the way the system's supposed to be, yada, yada, yada. He was like, when I joined up at Pitt, I didn't throw anybody out, And listen, I can understand a certain perspective he's bringing here, saying, there's something about loyalty and players and stuff like that. I can get that. I get that. At the same time, that's just the way the system is built. The system is now built for players to be able to hop around quickly. But that, on the flip side, means coaches can kind of push them out quickly too. And he didn't literally kick him out. He just said, hey, you're probably not going to get playing time. You probably should drop it. Probably, if you don't think you can hang around, you probably should jump in the portal. And that's what a lot of people did. Also, I took the effort to look this up. When he joined in at Pitt, it wasn't because the last coach got fired and he got brought in, like what's happening with Coach Prime. Paul Chryst was being hired at Wisconsin, and then he came in. So they went 6-7 the year before. So, Coach Prime is coming into a team that went 1-11 last year. And you're not expecting him to overhaul the roster? He doesn't, what are we doing here? If the rules are in place, and he needs to turn around quickly, which I think ADs and coaches are expected to do these days, criticizing just seems to be ignoring the realities of today. And it'd be different if he had a good team, a team that went, went 6-7 or 6-6 last year. No, he had a team that went 1-11. It's not comparable. Trust me, it's not comparable. Finally, and I wanted to bring this up. So yesterday, the Blue Jays beat the Rays 20-1. Vladdy had 6 RBIs, which was cool. But with that, so right now, and this is an insane stat, every team in the AL East has a better record than every team in the AL Central. The last place Blue Jays right now are 26-23. The Twins are 26-24. Wild stuff. I'm interested to see if we get expansion in MLB, if we get changes in divisions, which I think is very possible. Maybe a 4-division format instead of a 3-division format. Maybe we can shift around some teams. At the same time, I don't think that, don't try to make it like how it is in basketball where you just do it by just overall conference record. I don't think that's a good idea in baseball per se. Although it's kind of a throwback if you think about it, because that's how it kind of was back in the old days between the NL and the AL. But still, I don't know if that would be the best idea. We kind of have that. We have 3 wildcard teams now. There could be 3 wildcard teams out of the AL East, all of which have a better record than the winner in the AL Central. That's insane. That's crazy. Thank you all for watching and or listening, folks. Please like and subscribe, at Ice Cold SPRTS on Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Ice Cold Sports on YouTube, Ice Cold Sports on Apple Podcasts. My socials at TommySGHAN on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff, and icecoldsports.com. That about wraps it up, folks. Thank you all for watching and or listening or whatever, live, not live. You know the deal. I'm Tommy Gann, and this has been Ice Cold Sports. See you guys.